Gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and this video is part 2 of our SEX series of things that you need to know or to try and understand before you come over to Ukraine so that you, as the man on this mission, can hold the power. My name is Striker.
My name is Luba.
Okay, so if you haven't already seen part 1, I'll put a card up here. Go check it out. It's very important. Go and watch it. This video here is about a very significant problem that we see guys go through, right? And I made a video about this probably 2 years ago, before Luba was on the channel, before we had Heart Rocket, just when I was making these like random videos of me learning about my experiences dating over in Ukraine. But we want to remake the video now because obviously we have new subscribers and new followers.
And new stories, and and we see that the story is repeating from time to time, and some of the guys not feeling maybe very comfortable to talk to somebody about this, and when we have our strategy goals, they open with us, and we think that if we cover this topic here, then maybe a lot of you will get the answer if you was not feeling good to talk to about this with anybody. So you will understand that you're not by yourself.
Yeah, and it's perfectly normal, and everything about going over and dating over in Ukraine is all about you.
It's all normal.
There's nothing strange about it, but it's all about you understanding everything from a practical point of view and then using that to your own advantage, right? So when I made that video a couple of years ago, I'd sort of just learnt that, right? And over the last year or 2 years of having Heart Rocket with clients and coaching calls that we're doing, it has reiterated, it has strengthened my view that I made back then. And if my view back then was wrong, I would make another video saying this is what I now know now, right? So this video here in part 2 is about having SEX,
S word, let's go to S word.
The S word, we're trying to keep it family friendly, or maybe not family friendly, YouTube friendly. So it's the problem with having S word too soon, right? Let me talk about this, right? And actually, I'll talk about what I talked about in the video that I did back in the day. So I talked about 2 guys that I knew, and Luba knew them as well, right? We didn't know each other that well at the time, but we knew the same 2 guys.
They made us closer, by the way.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, is that what it was it? Okay, but there was 2 guys, and they were also dating over in Ukraine. They're both quite young. One was in his 30s, I think. One was about the same age as me. Both very successful guys, right? And they had met ladies. And I remember we were in Dnipro at the time. We were sitting around and we were talking about our experiences. And Luba was there as well, randomly. She just always seemed to pop up in my life when I least expected it. So she was there as well. And they were talking about. One guy was talking about how he'd met this lady and everything was going good, but he'd had sex on the first day, I think it was, or the first date, but sex was terrible. And he said, I cannot be in a relationship with a woman where sex is so bad, right? So he wanted to call it off. But she was a super sweet, kind,
and he was dating several girls before. Many girls. And all of them was because he was younger and he was very handsome and wealthy, he always was coming with the flowers and look good and smell good. So they all were like him, but they was kind of using him, and this girl was really good for him. It was not just just another girl. This one, when we saw that,
she was a very good option.
Yeah, we really thought that this is perfect. But the sexual part of that relationship for him, the first time was not maybe some fireworks and stuff. So so
he wanted to close that off, right? So he had sex very soon, and he made a decision based on that, sexual interaction. The other guy that was there as well, he was about the same age as me, also very successful. He was dating a woman who was whenever he would talked about her, it was this woman sounds like a total bitch, right? She was demanding. She wanted this special large cappuccino machine or something like that, and he was confused about all these problems.
But there was also some really mental craziness about her, honestly.
Yeah, she was a nutcase. Okay, let's just call it that. She was an absolute nutcase, and she was pushing him, she was testing him. She was a little bit she was helping a lot of stray dogs on the street, because in Ukraine it's a big problem. Yeah. And it was really kind of it's good and crazy, but it's when it's crossed some limits. Really. So she was expecting something from him that.
But expecting something.
But the sex was incredible. So he was going to put up with being treated like a stray dog on the street, I guess, because the sex was so good. So we had this contrast. And this is when I first understood it, right? And I'd also been in the situation before where like ex-partners, you know, like very good sexual energy, but not right for you. Okay. So this is, so there was two contrasts, right? A guy that met a lady that was seemingly very good, very attractive, but very inexperienced. Let's say that. Very inexperienced, innocent, whatever, but he didn't want that, okay? Even though he would talk about how he only wants to date, you know, like pure girls, whatever. This guy over here, he's dating a woman that's clearly not right for him, or probably 95% of guys that we know, but the, you know, sex was incredible, right? So let's go back to the first guy here, right? So he had a very good option, but he had sex and it wasn't perfect, right? He didn't give her the opportunity to see how she would be treating him in the long term, right? He jumped into the sack way too fast. And this is the problem when you have sex too fast. You're not evaluating her as a long-term partner, what she's going to bring to you, to bring into your frame to make your life, like, I'm going to say better, right? Because, you know, we always say like, you know, like your life should be great. You're happy to be alone, you know, being alone and being lonely are two different things. You're happy to be alone. You enjoy your life. You've built this empire around you, and you're going to invite a woman to come into your frame, right? He didn't allow that to happen. He's got no idea now what she could have brought to the relationship just because she was inexperienced, which in my point of view,
it's not bad.
In my point of view, that's a good thing. But the thing is, like, in terms of long term, because we all know at the start of a relationship, the sex is intense. It's this burning desire that's like that's so intense. But that doesn't last. That's part of the honeymoon period. Then you have to go into the next stage, and into the next stage of the relationship is when you have to have this like true communication about what your relationship is actually about, and when you can discuss things, you know. When she's reasonable, when you have a conflict and you have conflict resolution. You know, all of these things are very, very important going forward. But when you have sex at the start, us men, we're wired that way to make decisions based on that, you know? And this is wrong. You know, we said it in the first video. If you're coming over here to like date, you know, hook up, you know, go out and do some pickup on the street or whatever and just like try and, you know, get the notch count up, then hey, who cares what happens the next day? You can ghost her, she might ghost you, who cares, right? But in terms of like our clients and what our business is about and our core values, it's about sustainability when it comes to a relationship. So it's about thinking about these things for the long term. Does she share your same, you know, the same goals in life? Do you have values that aren't going to contradict or conflict each other? These are the things you need to think about, you know? And when you start to think about these things first, and you can restrain yourself from like having sex, even if she wants it, right? And because women know, like in the first video we talked about, when you reach the value threshold, she's going to have sex because she knows that's how she can lock you down or show you the true interest that she has in you. But if you can refrain from having sex, and even there's nothing wrong with saying to her like, you know, I really like you, I want us to get to know each other better, you know, and you know, you can still be intimate without actually having sex, right? So I want to get to know each other first, and then, you know, we can sort of, you know, get to that next, obviously.
Yeah, that is very important.
Don't put this out as a plan, like on Tuesday we'll do this, and on Wednesday is like when I'll be ready.
But this is very important because like the lady will actually feel very comfortable and confident with you. Because what's happening is that we have one story when the guy, like it's good that we're always there, like that we're always somewhere on the side and we can, you know, kind of help and assist and find out what is the problem. But you need to be also very careful with how you tell her this. And like Striker is right, you have to be intimate like in many other ways. There's like plenty of options. But one time the guy kind of said to the lady like it's not the time or something. And so the lady actually thought that he has some problems. So she came to me and we were like talking, said, how was the date? And she said, you know, I just worry, like, you know, it's okay. Like, I like him very much, but I just need to know. So she thought that he is a man, like he has some, you know, physical problems there. But so it should be very organically said. It should be very like you need to trust each other to be able to share this. But this is important. What Striker is saying is very right, because like if you're having it too soon, then your mind is not thinking clear. Like then you you know, if you like it very much, then you may really do not see a lot of stuff that really is causing a lot of problems in a future relationship. Because this guy that we even knew, it was horrible. Like, we all saw that, but he was just absolutely blind. Like, maybe after a couple of months, when, you know, they was breaking up and then going back, breaking up and going back, like, then he a little bit was waking up, because no matter what we were saying to him, like, he was absolutely, he doesn't want to hear anything, and he thought that he will be able to fix it. But there was actually nobody to fix, you know. This person was just not, they was not meant to be together. And the other guy as well, he lost his opportunity because this lady was really very good for him. So don't judge only on this. Like, this is a big part, like, this is whatever, like, everybody would measure for them how much sex is, like, how many % of the relationship is sex for you. This is very important. We never underestimate it, but having it too soon can cause a lot of problems. And one of the problems will be our part 3 video, is the commitments, obligations, and expectations.
Perception with the man and the woman when it comes to sex, and how the men are always like way off, and also the women are kind of way off, but they're like way off in this direction.
And also how the lady, like, what she thinks, like what you guys think after, like, having intimate relationship. Like, we understand, but we want to also a little bit open up for you what the lady is thinking after that and what she expects from you. So this video is about, like, what is the problem if you're having
sex too soon. It's all about, like, you need to control the dynamics of the relationship, right? And the problem is with us guys is that sometimes, like, you know, we think, you know, with different parts of the body, and we think that that is what's going to lead us into a good relationship, because if that's good, then she must be good. And this is wrong, and it's wrong in so many ways, you know. Like, I've been there as well, you know, and maybe you guys watching this video can also relate to this as well, you know. But what we're saying here is that, and this is from not just from my experience in my real life over many years in relationships, not just in Ukraine, but also in actually not so much in Ukraine, but also in the mostly in the Western world, is that yes, there are sex is a very integral and important part of a relationship. We've made videos about burning desire, and it must be present in the relationship. Otherwise, the relationship is just going to kind of be a little bit kind of a dud at the start, right? But you as the man have control about that, right? Have control whether or not you want to have sex at this point in time. Because if you give up that power, you give it over to her, you're giving away all of your power when it comes to controlling this relationship, right? Or if you know, if you are just wanting to have sex with random girls, like, then that's fine. But tell yourself that, right? Look in the mirror and say, that's actually what I want. Like, I'm not going to bullshit anybody. I'm not going to bullshit these ladies. I'm not going to pretend that I'm after something. And we've seen this like so, like, I've seen it before I met Luba. I can think of so many instances where the guy, even going through some of these companies, not the best companies, but they tell the lady, like, I think you'll know one of them, where he told the ladies, like, I'm going to buy you like an apartment, I'm going to buy all this stuff. And the next day when I met him, when I caught up with him, I said, how did it go? He goes, oh, I got so drunk, I told her I was going to buy an apartment. She, on the other hand, is going, oh, you know, I was like, you know, I really like him. He said, I just wanted to have sex with her. He's lost all control over his own masculinity by talking complete and utter garbage, which he knew, because when he was sober, he admitted it. He admitted that he lost control, and he gave that control over to her. She was the one that said, no, I'm not going to have sex with him. I'm going to wait till he's sober. So he's given up his control. So part 2 of this video is always be in control, right? You don't have to have sex. You don't have to try it out to see if you like it, because this can completely destroy your long-term goal. And as I mentioned in the other video, it's like, if she's not good at sex, she's inexperienced. She's
there's way to improve
it. She's a blank slate, and if she sees enough value in you,
she will get better.
She will get very good. Anyway, that's part 2 of the 3-part series of the sex series. Stay tuned for part 3.